Hey, how's it going? Pretty good. Now, you might have thought there were two different people talking, but actually, it's me again. Movie magic.
So before I start this video, I will say out of all the theories I've done so far and will probably ever do, this is most definitely my least original one. As a matter of fact, it's one that's been in the fandom for a very long time. And I've had to re-record this theory because I started to realize just how popular it is in the time I recorded the first time to now. But it's kind of my own spin on it, and also a spin on it that's not as popular. And I'll explain it in a minute. And there's also a pretty big, what I consider a pretty big piece of evidence I just haven't seen anyone point out. Now, this theory is going to be on a show that I did not expect to get just so immediately nostalgic for after finishing it. And keep in mind, I was not into the show around its heyday, mostly because it had the Illuminati in it. And at that time, I was terrified of the Illuminati. Yeah, I've always been a classic conspiracy theorist, but I was terrified and thought the show was full of, I don't know. I guess I thought Bill would possess me if I watched the show. But yeah, Gravity Falls is an amazing show that is just as mysterious as it is outright hilarious. And the most hilarious character in the show is either Bill or Stan, in my opinion. But what if, in a way, they were kind of the same character? Okay, so you're probably clicking off this video because you're sick of hearing this theory. But you really do need to hear me out because there is more evidence for this theory than I've ever seen for any theory. At least a theory that's outside of the Theorizers channel. Because seriously, that dude can rack up evidence. But basically, the basis for this theory that I think most people that believe it agree with is when Bill is getting erased from Stan's memory at the end, he calls upon this creature called Exodal. And Exodal is a creature that is in one of the non-canon books, but does recite this poem that is canon. 60 degrees that come in threes. Watches from within birch trees. Saw his own dimension burn. Misses home and can't return. Says he's happy, he's a liar. Blame the arson for the fire. If he wants to shirk the blame, he'll have to invoke my name. Only to absolve his crime. A different form, a different time. But then you have to wonder, why would he choose Stan as that different form, a different time? Well, I do think that while the Exodo probably did have the biggest choice in this, do you remember that after Bill shouts all that reverse message when he's being erased, that he cries out Stanley's name? Now, why would he do that? Like, he knows that Stanley's not going to help him. So I interpret that as basically choosing to kind of reincarnate as Stanley. But the thing is, Stanley is gone. Now, this is where I get to the big point of evidence that nobody has pointed out yet. And that is when Ford erases Stan's memories, he punches his name as Stanley. Now, we know that Stan has not gone by the Stanley identity basically ever since he showed up to Gravity Falls. And he made it very clear that he was giving up that identity by going as far as faking a car crash. Now, I did have this little idea that maybe he actually did die in a car crash, and that's when Bill possessed his body. But I'm scrapping it for what I feel like is a better idea. So I believe that it's somewhere within the time that Stan gave up his identity as being Stanley and taking his brother identity, which is Stanford. Well, taking his name, not really his identity, that Bill may have been able to possess him in some way. Either that or Stanley's always been a kind of reincarnation of Bill in a sense, but that the Exodal played a trick on Bill and gave him basically this chance to stop himself. And it's just kind of hard to work with, I guess, because I don't think Bill is possessing Stan. I don't really think they're the same person either. But if you look through the series, there's a ton of parallels between them just in the way they generally behave. So I do think that Bill's essence was because of the Exodal pit into Bill, whether it was when he was born or even during the incident with the portal with his brother. I was going to say originally that Bill, through Stanford, went into Stanley at that time because I thought, when I was remembering wrong, I thought he tried to take his hand and pull him away from the portal, but I just rewatched it and that didn't happen. But they did have both of their hands at the journal, on the journal at some time, so maybe. But do consider both Stan and Bill they're sleazy. They're like these sleazy car salesmen who trick people. They both call Ford Sixter. They both do that eeny, meeny, miny, you thing. They both sing this certain song at some point. And really, in the Weird Mageddon theme, guess who takes Stan's place in the weird world now? Yep, it's Bill. Same body behave. They basically have the same kind of body language and everything. Also, Stan, once he takes over the Mystery Shack, wears this Freemason hat. Basically, which, symbol of the Illuminati. There's Illuminati iconography all over the Mystery Shack long before he meets Bill. But, That's probably just because Bill has always been a part of the universe. He's probably existed before time itself. But no matter how it happened, I think the fact, even if they aren't exactly the same entity, but are just meant to parallel each other, uh, I think that the series can be read as Bill basically getting this chance to absolve his crimes. This time, in a way, through Stanley by sacrificing his memories. Because remember, Bill's got a little bit of character. He misses his home, this place he's seen burn up in flames. Maybe there was a Bill before he turned evil. We never know what he was like. But anyway, this is all for this video for now. I love you. I love you all. Ye Sarah. And even that gets me thinking, like, how exactly did Stan know about the Oddpocalypse slash Weird Mageddon long before it happened? And yeah, I know he built the portal that causes a tear. Well, he fixed the portal that would cause a tear in the universe and stuff, cause all that stuff to happen, but like, he didn't know that Mabel would give Bill the little orb that had the rip in time in it. Like, there was no way he on his own could have predicted that. Just something to think about. And there's even this really creepy scene that caught me off guard in the Tales of Gravity Falls episode where Stan is telling all the stories that he makes up about stuff in the shack. Well, near the end, uh, the perspective that is supposed to be like yours perspective, he basically poisons you and traps you in this box and uses a living person as an attraction, just like he did in the Amphibia crossover he was going to do to the girl on Amphibia. To me, that's definitely his Bill side showing. Did I mention that Stan's a jerk? Yeah, he's a jerk. And to be completely honest, a overall very bad influence on Dipper and Mabel. I mean, basically the only people in the entire world he cares about, are his family, which is very nice. Old dude's got a soft spot. And maybe his co-workers sometimes. Other than that, he really doesn't seem to care for anyone at all. Much in the same way Bill didn't seem to really care about anyone. Though, if you think about it, his big plan was to, one, get a third dimensional body that he could actually live in the real world in, which is why biggest reason why he would possess people anyways was to have a body, but also to let his friends, which he does call them friends, be able to be happy. So who knows? Maybe Bill himself has a soft side for his friends.